کنوانسیون ایرانیان در کالیفرنیا، حمایت از قیام مردم ایران و کانونهای شورشی و آلترناتیو دموکراتیک شورای ملی مقاومت.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. 40 years of lost freedom, raising successive generations in poverty and want, a great people on their knees, a great culture compromised. There is no power on earth so great that it will long quench human freedom. I know the mullahs look powerful, sitting on their thrones, killing innocent people, murdering opponents, suppressing freedom. Yeah, they look powerful. I heard that. The ash heap of history is full of people like the mullahs. When you hear Mrs. Rajavi talk about the inevitability of change, she's talking to you from a perspective of history, not theory. And in this cause, we all have a role to play. Whether you're in California or the streets of Tehran, we all have a role. Every check you write as a donation is a bullet. Remember what your heritage means and understand how you can change the world, because it is in your hands. Those hundreds of young people who died in the last months in the streets of cities across Iran did so believing that there were people in the world standing behind them. You! They believed they were not alone. They believed they had you and people like you. They died believing they were in solidarity of a cause greater than themselves. And they were right. If you stay here, if you pledge to never give in and never give up, the day we waited for when people in Iran would say enough has arrived. The day when the United States government would stop appeasing has arrived. But I don't want to look to that day without also remembering how we got to this final moment. First, to those who hear our voices in Camp Ashraf 3 in Albania, you were there in Iraq when the Revolutionary Guards were hurling missiles upon you and killing your brothers and sisters. Thank you for your courage. You are the point of the spear. You never gave in. Iranian history will never forget you. To Mrs. Rajavi, who has seen her life imperiled from the day she took up this cause, who didn't give a minute or an hour or a year of her life, but her entire life, to the cause of Iranian freedom, Iranian history will have a page for you for as long as people write history itself. I want to hear from every one of you now. Will you pledge every day to do one thing to free your homeland? Thank you. One thing each day multiplied by 1 million Iranians all across America, 10 million all across the Western world. One thing every day, every person, another message, another statement, another dollar, another stand. It's a tidal wave of change. It's a mountain of activity. It is a force that no dictator can ever counter. Now, finally, having spoken to the people of Iran, to the diaspora, to you, I want to say a word to the American media and my fellow Americans who may not share your heritage. When it comes to ending the regime in Tehran, watch not simply what we say, but what we do. There is not a division in the United States about bringing down the regime in Tehran. We are united as a people, Democrat and Republican, liberal and conservative. We want the destruction of the regime in Tehran. We are one people with one policy to destroy the regime in Tehran. We are one. These mullahs will see their end. They will see it soon. You have lived to see a free Iran. It is here. It is unfolding before your eyes, even when you cannot see it. God bless you. Thank you for having me. Next year in Tehran.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world stands at a crossroads, and the cause of freedom in Iran hangs precariously in the balance. For more than 4 decades, global powers have borne witness to the Islamic Republic of Iran's terrorism and repression, belligerence and hostilities. We've witnessed human rights abuses and hostage takings and proxy violence. We've seen arms shipments and the export of fundamentalism. And in recent months, we've watched as the regime has arrested and detained thousands upon thousands of protesters. But we've also seen courageous acts of resistance by the Iranian people. The regime and all that it has come to represent is finally being exposed for the world to see. But now the world has a choice to make. Will we support the aspirations of the Iranian people for a more peaceful and liberal and democratic future? Or will we continue to appease the murderous mullahs in Tehran? Let me be absolutely clear. I am proud to stand with the Iranian people in their quest for freedom and democracy in Iran. This summer, I had the great privilege, along with some of the speakers who you've heard from tonight, of joining a bipartisan delegation of senior U.S. officials who embarked on a fact-finding mission at Ashraf 3, the MEK's new home in Albania. Our delegation included four-star generals, Democrats and Republicans, independents, liberals, and conservatives, foreign policy experts, sitting members of Congress, former cabinet members, ambassadors, intelligence experts, military officers, governors, academics, and human rights advocates. Joining us in Tehran were more than 350 dignitaries from 47 countries. During our trip, we gathered firsthand insights about the principal opposition to clerical rule. And we concluded what scholars have long understood, but Washington has been reluctant to acknowledge. And that is that the Ayatollahs are not a permanent fixture of the Middle East landscape. Iran fears its people more than anything else, and the regime in Tehran is more vulnerable than ever before. What our delegation witnessed was truly extraordinary and deeply promising. We saw with our own eyes a cohesive, organized political opposition movement with a long history of struggle against fundamentalism and dictatorship, guided by a gifted female leadership with a well-defined political platform and an intricate network of passionate supporters both inside Iran and around the world. It was like looking into Iran's democratic and pluralistic future. During our visit, we were given unfettered access to the camp's facilities and its residents. I want to share one brief story with you this evening that exemplifies what we saw during our 5-day stay. After a long day of speeches and panel discussions and media appearances, the members of our delegation were invited to a dinner that was to be hosted by the young women at Ashraf 3. We had no idea what to expect. But the women we encountered that evening, they were confident and deeply, deeply committed. The women we encountered told stories of the unspeakable horrors that they and their families had encountered at the hands of the Ayatollahs. They spoke of the regime's torture and executions, human rights abuses and violence. We witnessed their bravery and their courage and their resilience and their abiding commitment to the cause of freedom in Iran. Following our trip, I went to the American delegation and I told them that I want to write a book about what I saw during my 5-day stay with the opposition. The leaders of the American delegation sat me down, looked me in the eye, and they said, "You need to write a book about what we all saw during our stay with the Iranian opposition." Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I am proud to report that this book, titled Iran's Resurgent Resistance, was just published by the Iran Policy Committee. The book has already received advanced praise from senior leaders in the U.S. intelligence community and the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Defense and the Department of State. I opened my remarks this evening by noting that we stand at a crossroads. We must speak with one voice, and we must declare that there is a viable alternative to theocratic rule in Iran. Freedom and democracy are within reach. Ladies and gentlemen, I dedicated my book, our book, to those struggling for freedom in Iran and around the world. And today, in your presence, I rededicate myself to this noble cause.
تلویزیون CBS گردهمایی بزرگ ایرانیان در مرکز شهر لس آنجلس. چگونه میتوان رژیم را تغییر داد؟ خبرنگار CBS از لس آنجلس گزارش داد ایرانیان در مرکز شهر لس آنجلس یک گردهمایی برگزار کردند و به این که چگونه میتوان رژیم را تغییر داد پرداختند. آنها به ما گفتند که تظاهرات را یک نقطه عطف در ایران میدانند.
Chris and Sarah, more than 1,000 advocates met today in downtown Los Angeles to consider how recent events might lead to regime change. Some telling us they see this as a turning point in Iran. The world is watching as striking images emerge of thousands of young students filling the streets of Iran after the government's admission to shooting down a Ukrainian passenger plane.
بعد از آن که رژیم ایران پذیرفت یک هواپیمای مسافربری را سرنگون کرده و تمامی سرنشینان آن را کشته است، هزاران دانشجوی جوان خیابان‌های ایران را پر کردند. خبرنگاران بین‌المللی گزارش می‌کنند که این قیام حتی شجاعانه‌تر از آنچه در دوران اخیر مشاهده شده است میباشد، در حالی که برخی از تظاهر کنندگان خامنه‌ای را قاتل می‌خوانند و حتی خواستار مرگ او میباشند.
In Los Angeles, where more than 1,000 people attended the California Convention for a Free Iran, young people here are paying attention to the
خبرنگار CBS از کنوانسیون لس آنجلس گزارش داد در لس آنجلس در کنوانسیون کالیفرنیا برای ایران آزاد، شرکت کنندگان سرنگونی هواپیمای مسافربری و کشتن قاسم سلیمانی را به عنوان لحظه تعیین کننده‌ای می‌بینند که نهایتاً به تغییر رژیم ایران خواهد انجامید.
پاتریک کندی به CBS گفت اکنون در ایران در حاکمیت بدترین دولت حامی تروریسم در جهان، بدترین چیزی که ممکن است در جریان است. امیر عمادی میگوید قاسم سلیمانی پدر او را در یک کمپ پناهندگی در سال 2013 1392 کشته است. او گفت در یک طرف مردم شجاعی قرار دارند که می‌خواهند تظاهرات کنند، زیرا این فرصتی برای سرنگونی ملاهای حاکم است، اما در طرف مقابل ماموران رژیم هولناکی قرار دارند که جوانان زیر 13-14 ساله را به ضرب گلوله می‌کشند.
خبرگزاری‌های آسوشیتد پرس و رویترز نیز عکس‌هایی از کنوانسیون برای ایران آزاد در کالیفرنیا مخابره کردند.